SeatGeek. For all your ticketed events, from sporting to concert outings, SeatGeek has you covered. They even conveniently color-coded each ticket on their website from amazing to worst, so you can easily know which are the best deals. SeatGeek, the smart way to buy. Save $20 off your next ticket purchase with the promo code. Hey everybody, I'm your host, the Grande Guy, also known as the Big Cat. My cool cats, get your paws on there if you rock with the Big Cat. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Keep Pound _TV. Today, we're going to talk about the Carolina Panthers. They released their first unofficial depth chart. But first, one quick question before we get started. Do you like Carolina Panthers like I like the Panthers? Yes? No? Maybe? Do you like the Panthers? If you like the Panthers, give me that. Listen, man. This thing right here, it's mind-blowing. We're going to talk about some of the new changes, what remained the same, and what you can expect going into preseason game number 1. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Click the notification bell so you don't miss a video. So let's start with the wide receiving core. The left wide receiving core, first team is, of course, DJ Moore. I wouldn't expect anything other than DJ Moore. Behind him at the left wide receiver is Chris Hogan, Torrey Smith. No surprise there. Left tackle, we have Darrell Williams. Greg Little is right behind him. Left guard, Greg Van Roten. Taylor Hearn behind him. Center, Matt Poderis. Tyler Larson behind him. Right guard, Trey Turner. Dennis Daly behind him. Right tackle, Taylor Moton, and Brandon Green right behind him. Now, pretty much with the offensive line, this is what I've been saying all preseason, all offseason, however you may put it. Darrell Williams at left tackle, Grant Van Roten at left guard, Matt Poderis at center, Trey Turner at right guard, and Taylor Moton at right tackle. Now, a lot of you guys are not in favor of Greg Van Roten being at left guard. I'm telling you, this is the best thing for our team if we're looking to make a Super Bowl run. He's a guy who's been in there during bad times. He brings that veteran leadership, that veteran presence. Don't rush Greg Little into the lineup. A lot of you guys want to be North Turner and try to put him at left guard and left tackle. Stop it. Pump your brakes. He's going to get his. He's a fabulous player, a guy who can hold his own. Doesn't have that nasty side about him, but he can hold his own. So, with that being said, that's what you can expect out of your left wide receiver and your first offensive line. Shouldn't be no changes there. Now, moving on to the right side wide receiver. Of course, number 1 is Curtis Samuel with Jarius Wright behind him. No surprise there. Derek Robinson and Terry Godwin behind them as well. Pretty much Moore and Samuel will be the number 1 receiver with Chris Hogan in the slot and Jarius Wright, the 4th, bringing out the rear. One thing I did notice is Torrey Smith is behind Chris Hogan when it comes to the left wide receiver. So, does that mean, Torrey Smith is not performing, or is it a health issue? I don't know, because I know he's a guy who's also had bump and bruises coming into this season. So maybe it's just the fact that he hasn't been 100% healthy and precautionary measure. I don't know. We'll find out here soon coming preseason game number 1. When it comes to tight end, Greg Olsen, Ian Thomas behind him, Chris Manhertz. No surprise there. I think this will be Greg Olsen's final year. And because of that, I don't think Ian Thomas gets a lot of dynamic plays like we know he can bring to the table. Because of that, Greg Olsen is his junkyard dog. He's Cam Newton's favorite target, so he's all reliable, the junkyard dog. He's going to get it done. But Ian Thomas, hang tough. Your time will come. And I think he'll get a little bit of time, a little bit of plays in the mix, but not like you expect. So that's your tight end spot. So now moving on to our backfield. We got our quarterback position, our running back position, and our fullback position. QB1 is the best option to win when healthy. He is the number 1 guy. And behind him is Kyle Allen. A lot of you guys are probably flipping out about, well, Will Greer is better than Kyle Allen. Stop it, man. I keep telling you guys, football is not just played on paper. It's also played on field. But I think that has nothing to do with it. I think they're setting the structure for the Bears game Thursday night. I think Kyle Allen will get second reps. And then I think they're going to allow Will Greer to play late in the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter as well. So that's the reason why I think Will Greer is 3rd. I don't think it has nothing to do with him performing. It's more so the structure for the preseason game. Fullback, we got Alex Amara. Running back, Christian McCaffrey. And again, Cameron Artis-Payne. A guy who I believe at times when he had his chance over the few seasons that he did play, I wasn't really too impressed. So for him to be number 2, again, I think this is more so of a preseason lineup. Has nothing to do with being underplayed. Also, Elijah Holyfield, he's bringing up the caboose as the 4th running back. And Jordan Scarlett, 3rd running back. I think that's probably the biggest thing right there. The fact that they have Jordan Scarlett listed as the fourth best running back on the roster is a little concerning to me. Because in the preseason game, I get it. You got Christian McCaffrey number 1, and you got Cameron Artis-Payne gonna take over the 2. But then you got Reggie Buffon, who's listed 3rd on the depth chart. So he's probably gonna be playing in the 3rd quarter. So I think he'll be splitting time with Jordan Scarlett, and then Elijah Holyfield will be in the 4th quarter. That's a little concerning. I would think Scarlett would be at 3rd. So again, another thing to keep your eye on. Not trying to overlook, try to read too much into it, but that is concerning that he's not even 3rd on the depth chart. I get it. Give your veterans the more reps, and then turn around and give the younger heads. Let's talk about the defense. 3-4 defense reads as the left defensive end will be Gerald McCord 1st string, Brian Cox 2nd string, Ifa Obadiah 3rd string, and Bitten Jackson as 4th string. Now a little concerning right here. Ifa Obadiah is a guy who I know I can play. I know he can play, man. We've seen what he did against the Dallas Cowboy game. I think he can be a vital piece to how this 3-4 defense works. He has a golden opportunity to really be in there with Brian Cox Jr. for that 2nd string position. I guess he has to go out there and prove it again in preseason. But I really like him. I like his story. I like what he brings to the table. So it's a little disheartening to see him at 3rd. But I think with the proper preseason, if he come out here and show out, does his thing, he'll be just fine. But he has a golden opportunity. And a lot of you guys don't understand when it comes to the defense and then when it comes to offense. It's all about the depth. It's all about quality depth. A lot of Super Bowl winners in the past, they don't have a bunch of superstars on their team, but they have a lot of depth. So if you got a lot of good guys versus 2 or 3 good guys, do the math. Now let's move on to nose tackle. Dontari Poe, Kyle Love, Woodrow Hamilton. So no surprise there with that. Right defensive end, KK Short, Vernon Butler, and Destiny Vayo. Now, a lot of you guys were looking at Vernon Butler and like, man, get rid of him, and he's a reject, and get him in project and all that good stuff. Told you guys, pump your brakes. Stop putting your mouth on these players. Stop putting your mouth on the players. I think Vernon Butler may be motivated by a lot of negative comments and maybe even a second chance of sorts when it comes to this running this 3-4 defense. So look out for him to do good. I'm rooting for you, Vernon, man. I'm rooting for you, so hope you do good as well. Left linebacker Mario Addison, followed by Brian Burns. No surprise there. I think Burns is going to be a rotational guy. He's a guy, if he comes in during the rotation and shows out, he could be a starter midway through the season. No joke, no disrespect to Mario Addison, but he's one of those guys that has that dynamic speed. But if he comes in and he has a play, he's like a flash here, flash there, okay, then you can expect him to be a rotational guy. But don't be surprised if he ends up taking a starting spot from one of these guys. Moving on to the left inside linebacker, Shaq Thompson, followed by Jermaine Carter. Big things from both of those guys. I think Jermaine Carter has a chance to show off what he can do. Been waiting in the wing for a while. Luke Kuechly behind Andre Smith, with Andre Smith behind him. Moving on to Bruce Irvin, right outside linebacker, with Marquise Haynes behind him. Continuing with the linebacker theme, Christian Miller, who's listed as 3rd on the depth chart at right outside linebacker. I think he's a guy who could really be a dynamic player. I don't necessarily think he's an actual 3rd outside linebacker. I think this is more structure going into the preseason game. I'm going to say this again. But if he is, I think he may have a higher learning curve than others. May got to go through some speed bumps or whatever, but he'll be just fine. Moving on to left outside linebacker Dante Jackson, followed by Kevon Seymour. And then you got Lorenzo Dawes and Corn Elder as well. You got James Bradbury, right outside cornerback, Ross Crockwell, Josh Thornton, Javen Elliott, a guy who I've been hearing a lot of good things about him. I think Javen Elliott's been balling out these last couple of days, so don't expect for him to stay there long. And let's move on to free safety. Trey Boston, Ross Crockwell, Colin Jones, Cole Luke. Strong safety, you got Eric Reed, Rashard Golden, Damian Forms, Quinn Blanding. Him and Corian Ballard, 2 guys I covered when it came to making a draft or after the draft video. I'm rooting for both of you guys, Quinn Blanding and Corian Ballard. But the biggest thing we need to talk about here out of this whole entire roster is Rashard Golden not even being 2nd on the free safety spot. They actually moved him to 2nd on the strong safety spot. And I honestly think they did that, like I said, for preseason purposes. They're doing, and I know I've been saying this about 3 or 4 times, but I want you guys to understand that they want to see how he looks in different positions. So if he's struggling in free safety position, then I think they're going to put him in a strong safety position to see how he moves and functions in there. But it is a little bit of surprise because Rashad Golden is he's not even second on the free safety spot. I mean, Ross Crockwell is second on the free safety spot. Ross Crockwell is second on the right cornerback spot. So, and like I said, Ross Crockwell he's not a scrub. He's the guy who balled out before getting hurt last year. Before he got hurt last year when he was with Pittsburgh the year before, he balled out. So he's not a scrub. He can play. So I'm pretty sure they're impressed with him. And from what I've been hearing down to Javen Elliott, this guy can mess around and be our nickel spot from what I've been hearing about him. So Rashawn Golden, this is what I got to say to you, man. This is not the Bears versus the Panthers. This is Rashad Golden versus the Bears. So you better come out here. You better bring it. You better show that you can adapt to playing strong safety, nickel, wherever they need you to play. So hold your head, man. Hold your head. And don't get discouraged, man. Because guess what? When the team wins, you win. We all win. So don't get discouraged. Continue to perfect your craft. Continue to learn. Continue to be a sponge and soak up all you can. Thank you, guys, for tuning in for another episode of Keep _TV. I'm your host, the Grand God, also known as the Big Cat. Get in the comment section. Tell me what you liked about the depth chart. What do you think they made a mistake at? And a lot of you guys, just relax, okay? A lot of these moves that are eye-popping where you see some people lined up at second string that shouldn't be there. It's more so for preseason game structure. It's not the final depth chart. Now, if this was going into game number 3 of the preseason or game number 4, then we may have a problem, but relax. It's more so just trying to fill everybody out. I'm your host, the Grand God, also known as the Big Cat. Let the church say, damn.